Hey guys, it's Steve for CollectorMania. Just doing another voiceover card alter. As you'll see, I'm doing a Ankh of Mishra. Really cool card. The white border, as you'll see, actually worked into my benefit here. You'll see right now that I'm doing my usual process of altering. And at this point, I think I decided, you know what, I want to do something a little bit different. And luckily, I was working with a client that is pretty flexible on what I do, so I decided to do a floating border, which is something that I do every once in a while, but I just figured it would work really well here. With my watercolor type background, I actually used the white border to my benefit, just being able to bring up those really light white blues and yellows and reds. So you'll see here I'll actually start just putting down layers of water and, light pigmented paint. Um, just kind of as a side note too, I wanted to let you guys know once again, I'm going to try and make it a point to bring this up on each one of my videos. If you guys are looking for a particular type of technique, or if you guys are looking to try and alter a particular type of card, if you want to bring it up in the comment section, I will always, give it a shot, see what I can give you tips and tricks wise. I'll even do a video if you guys are looking for one. Like for example, if you want to do, once again, like a floating border technique like this, I can kind of give you some tips and tricks. Just anything really, just let us know and we'll make it a video. We are looking for content all the time, and that's definitely something fun to do. So anyway, back to the card. You'll notice me putting the purples and blues in the sky right now. I did have to go back with a little bit of white there because I went a little crazy with my blue and wanted to definitely keep some of that atmospheric type effect in there. So laying down a little bit of the yellow, just starting to get into my, ground, I guess. Something that I did here in particular in a couple seconds is I started adding a little bit of orange, which was actually really effective. Um, Trying to keep the colors as true as I can is pretty, important to me, of course. I want every card to look essentially seamless, without any real, I guess, jarring color changes or anything like that. So bringing a little bit of red there, of course. I think I ended up doing this all the way around the bottom, just to kind of make the card look, I guess, consistent. That's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, altering cards is a lot of fun. Of course, going with the black on the bottom, which will, I think I toned it up to brown at some point just to kind of, once again, make it look more cohesive. So this type of technique works really, really well, especially with these old artifacts. I really just like that stark, kind of like old artifacty type look, especially on such vibrant colors. And that's part of what made this card so successful in my mind. Pulling in a little bit more of those whites and blues, just making the sky look right. The purples were actually really fun in this, as you'll see me pull a few of those up a little bit later. And then, a fun technique as well is grabbing like your detail brush and like adding in a bunch of those like little spears and swords that were sticking out of the ground, which I think you'll see close to the end of the video. Again, with another technique, you'll see me lay down like a layer of color of purple, and then I'll kind of wipe it with my finger. It's a really fun way, and it's kind of something you just gotta learn. It's really hard to describe, really, but it's a really fun way just to kind of add like a misty effect to something. So, just another tip I've picked up over the years. I think I've been altering for maybe three or so years at this point. I don't know. I did a couple, just for fun one day, and I brought them into the shop to show my buddy Eric. He's the shop manager. And then somebody asked me to do one for him, and then I've been getting paid to do it ever since. So if you have any ambition to do any type of artwork or anything like that in your life, and you want to make a little bit of extra cash to spend on your magic cards, I definitely recommend picking up altering cards. It's pretty successful, I'd say. I mean, you can definitely get into it pretty handily, and all you really need is, some skill, some knowledge, and some tools, some paintbrushes and paint. And that again, once again, going back to the comment section, if you guys ever want to know like what I've picked up, as far as like tools, just make a comment about it, and I'll let you guys know. I'm open book as far as that goes. I don't mind sharing any of my tips or secrets, any stuff like that. So, yeah. Taking a little bit of a break there, trying to get a little refreshment, as you'll see in the smaller video window there. Yeah, painting in that red. I lost a little bit of the vibrance there, so I wanted to bring it back up. And the way I did that is I actually just watered down my red and then just went over on a really thin layer. So, as you'll see there, I went a little dark on the yellow, and I had to bring that back up again. I think that's probably the second time I had to do that too. So, Oh, starting to do a little bit of the black, I guess, detail work. That was one of my main concerns when I started this card, was just getting all those little details in there. And definitely doing a floating border style helped out a lot with that. As I've talked about on some of my other videos, time is essential when you're doing stuff like this. I try and do like 4 or 5 cards at a time, usually about an hour or hour and a half, maybe even 2, you know, trying to get as many done at a time as I can. That way I'm maximizing my profit. So it's kind of weird to talk about art that way, but you know, it is definitely a factor that you have to consider when you're trying to make money doing these kind of things. So yeah, let's see, just yeah, doing a little bit more of this stuff. This voiceover thing is kind of fun. I think this is the second video we've done, so you know, if you guys have any tips about that, you know, let us know. You know, maybe there's something we could try that make it a little bit more smooth or whatever. But I'm just trying to be as, I guess, genuine and true to myself as I can. That way you guys can, you know, maybe learn a few things, or you know, maybe refresh a few things, or whatever you're looking for, really. So let's see here. I think I'm getting pretty close to getting finished with this one. Yeah, I think pretty much all I got to do is bring up that yellow, as I'm doing right now. Just adding a little bit of white and yellow onto that, just to kind of make it look a little bit more consistent once again. I believe sign it, and then I should be pretty close to being done. I always find myself going back and forth on cards, especially when I've like taken pictures of them or looked at them on video. I'll notice some things that I don't notice actually looking at the cards. So it's actually been pretty beneficial to, you know, start videotaping things and taking pictures of things. Sometimes you just don't see something until you're looking at it objectively that way, I guess. You know, kind of funny to think about. With these types of altars, I generally sign on the, I guess, the text box. That way you can actually see the signature. A lot of times the border is a little bit small for it. And I do emphasize, you know, stress, I guess, signing your work, of course, all the time. That way people know it's you. So with that, I think it's getting pretty close here to the end. And, you know, like, favorite, subscribe as always. And, you know, once again, make comments about what you want to see. And we'll be doing a lot more of these now that we've kind of gotten our process nailed down for, you know, deck text and stuff like that. So now we're going to start moving more into our creative direction. Hopefully I can get Mr. Eric to do some of those miniature paintings that he's promised me so many times. He's shaking his head right now. Like, why are you bringing that up again, Steve? Oh. So anyway, as always, you know, like, favorite, and subscribe. I think I already said that once this video, but I'll say it as many times as I need to, and we will catch you guys next time. Thanks.